The champagne flute shattered against the marble floor, a jagged scream of glass that silenced the murmur of the vow renewal guests. I stood frozen, my hands still outstretched, as Sarah's words sliced through the air. You were my backup plan, Ethan. I'd have been better off marrying him. Her eyes, glittering with something between defiance and regret, locked onto mine, and the room spun. Candlelight blurring into streaks of gold. The scent of lilies choking me. She didn't mean it. She couldn't. Not here, not now, with our friends and family watching, their faces twisting from celebration to confusion. But the name she'd whispered, Jake, hung like a guillotine. I'd sensed the fracture weeks ago. Small things at first. The way her phone buzzed at odd hours, her fingers darting to silence it before I could glance over. The late nights at work. Her perfume lingering on clothes she swore she hadn't worn. I'd rationalized it. Overtime, stress, my own paranoia creeping in after a decade together. But there was that one evening. Her standing by the kitchen window, moonlight carving shadows across her face as she typed furiously. A smile flickering she hadn't worn for me in months. I'd asked, everything okay? And her answer, too quick, too sharp, just work, Ethan, God, had lodged in my chest like a splinter. Now, standing in the banquet hall, her confession burned away my denial. My heart thundered, each beat a hammer against my ribs. I wanted to scream, to demand why, but my voice caught, strangled by the weight of her betrayal. The guests shifted uncomfortably, their whispers a low hum, like static before a storm. Sarah's mother, clutching her pearls, looked away. My brother, always the fixer, stepped forward, but I waved him off. This was mine to face. Say it again, I said, my voice low, trembling with rage and something softer, desperation. Say it to my face. Sarah's lips parted, but no words came. Her eyes flicked to the crowd, then back to me. And I saw it. Guilt, yes, but also defiance. She wasn't sorry, not really. I didn't mean for you to hear it like that, she said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. But it's true. Jake, he was always the one. I settled for you. The room tilted. Settled. The word was a blade, carving through 10 years of laughter, late-night talks, the miscarriage we'd grieved together, the vows we'd just renewed. I'd built my world around her, brick by brick, and now it crumbled. My hands shook as I loosened my tie, the silk slick against my sweating palms. When? I asked the question raw, scraping my throat. When did this start? She hesitated, her fingers twisting the edge of her white dress. Ironic, that color now. It never stopped, she admitted, and the room gasped. A collective intake of breath that sucked the air from my lungs. We've been talking. For months. He's back in town, Ethan. He wants me. The truth landed like a fist. Months. While I'd been planning this renewal, picking her favorite flowers, writing vows that poured out my soul, she'd been weaving a life with him. Jake, her college ex, the one she'd cried over when we met, the one I'd thought was a ghost. I saw them now in flashes, her sneaking calls in the bathroom, the client dinners that ran too late, the way her eyes softened when she mentioned his name in passing, like a song she couldn't stop humming. I should have known. The signs were there, scattered like breadcrumbs I'd refused to follow. The way she'd pull away from my touch, her body stiffening when I kissed her neck. The half-empty wine bottle she'd hidden under the sink, as if I wouldn't notice. The way she'd started locking her phone, when we'd always shared everything. I told myself it was stress, that I was reading too much into it. But love makes you blind, doesn't it? It makes you stupid. Why now? I asked, my voice cracking. Why say this here, in front of everyone? Her eyes glistened, but no tears fell. Because I'm tired of lying, she said. To you, to myself. I thought I could do this, stay with you, be the wife you wanted. But I can't. Not when he's out there. The crowd was a blur now, their faces dissolving into the haze of my anger. I wanted to hate her, to call her every name burning in my throat, but beneath it all, I still loved her. That was the worst part, the ache in my chest, the part of me that wanted to beg her to stay, to fix this. But I wasn't her choice. I was her safety net, her fallback. The realization twisted something deep inside me, something I didn't know could break. Then go. I said, the words tasting like ash. Go to him. But don't expect me to wait. She flinched, as if my calm was more cutting than my rage. Maybe it was. I turned, my shoes clicking against the marble, and walked out, past the stunned guests, past the table with our untouched cake, past the life we'd built. The night air hit me like a slap, cold and sharp, the city's hum a distant roar. I didn't know where I was going. Only that I couldn't stay. Days bled into weeks. I moved out, crashing on my brother's couch, the ache in my chest a constant companion. Sarah's texts came sporadically, apologies, excuses, then silence. I didn't reply. Instead I dug. I found Jake's social media, his smug grin and photos with her, timestamps matching her work trips. I found emails, too, on an old laptop she'd left behind. Messages that detailed their plans, their longing, their mockery of me. "Ethan's so predictable," she'd written. "He'll never suspect." Each word fueled me, turned my heartbreak into something colder, sharper. Revenge wasn't my nature, but it called to me now a siren's song. I didn't want violence or scandal. I wanted something deeper. Something that would haunt her the way her betrayal haunted me. I waited until her birthday, the day she'd always loved to celebrate with extravagance. She'd posted about a party, Jake by her side, her smile radiant in a way it hadn't been with me. I sent her a gift, delivered to her new apartment. A sleek, leather-bound journal, embossed with her initials. Inside, I'd meticulously copied every email, every text, every lie she'd told me, interspersed with photos of us. Moments she'd forgotten, moments I'd cherished. At the end, a single note. "You chose him. Live with it." I didn't sign it. I didn't need to. The journal was my confession, my closure, my quiet vengeance. Let her read it in front of Jake. Let her see her own words reflected back. Let her feel the weight of her choices. I imagined her hands trembling as she turned the pages, her smile fading, the room growing silent as the truth settled between them. I didn't stay to watch. I didn't need to. I walked away, the city lights flickering like stars, my heart still heavy but no longer hers. Revenge didn't heal me, but it set me free.